a nice man. Yeah, I'm a nice man. Kick 'em, I love to shove 'em, I love to stick 'em, love to float 'em, I love to watch 'em, I love to pick 'em, and I'm gonna kick 'em, 'cause I'm a nice man. Yeah, I'm an ass man. Yes, I'm an ass man. Oh, I'm an ass man.
Golan-Globus, back it in here. That's right, we're doing things up the rear this week. Murray.
Coming in through the back door.
I'm a backdoor man. That could have been another opener song right there. Backdoor man.
Yeah, well, Robert Plant said it best. I want to be your backdoor man.
Robert Plant did that song?
Then no, but that's a line from Whole Lotta Love.
Oh,
There's a lot of backdoors going on in the 70s.
Well, 70s.
A lot of backdoor intruders.
70s.
Griff, the final episode of Action Animation April.
Yes. Twitter.
Huge success.
Twitter's biting their nails, waiting for this episode to be released. The downloads.
they're taking their time.
They're, you know what, Murray? They're switching. We've gotten so many whispers in the mail. They're switching their ISP.
I think
this
what I you know what I think
year?
it is. I think it's because these I didn't even think. It just comes naturally, people. These movies have been so sexy that I think people are teaming up. They're double teaming.
Oh, Murray!
They're fucking each other. Listeners are fucking each other.
Yes, of
and
course.
listening.
Of course.
So that's our gift to you. Our numbers are down, but at least you're getting off.
That's right.
You're welcome.
I hope you always enter through the back door during this month. I don't know why, but that's the theme of this episode. That's for sure.
The theme of this episode, the theme of the month, I think, was giant knockers.
Giant knockers.
And who would have thought nerdy animators love drawing big old titties?
Right. Who would have thought?
But in this one, this is why Frank Frazetta was a true legend. Ass. All about the ass. And Griff, you mentioned last week, you're like, Tim, why are you an ass man? I said, I don't know. But now now that I watch this, subliminally.
Yeah, that's a good word.
I've always loved Frank Frazetta. His art's so goddamn dynamic. Love it. And he always drew women with big asses, wide hips, thick thighs. And that's what I like. So that's why, Griff. We figured it out.
Planted it in your brain from a young age. You grew up, and you're just like, this makes sense to me.
Yeah, exactly.
This is, I don't know what to say. I can't say I'm watching a whole lot of animation anymore, so all I know is apparently they're making the anime women look like children now. It's becoming a big issue. Or wolf people.
You know, it's weird. I mean, it's repulsive. The whole concept is repulsive. But if this new wave of animation, pervamation, stops people from trying to molest children, should it be allowed?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
If that's somehow cut down on the actual human, suffering.
It's a double-edged sword because I think for some people that would be enough because the people that know they're sick and are ashamed of it, they're like, I'll just use this to get off.
Right.
And then there's the sickos that use this to go, I got to have this now.
Right.
So it's a double-edged sword.
Right.
I mean, I would love to live in a world where we don't have that. But I don't know. Maybe it's a necessary evil. I don't know.
It's a scary thing. It's like, actually, I drive better when I've had a few beers and a hit off a joint or something. It's like, we were letting you play with fire here by tempting you with the anime children, ladies. But then we're gonna tell you, no, you can't. Yeah. So
do they make fuck pillows with that shit on it?
You know they fucking do.
And those are you can legally sell those.
I don't know, I guess. Murray, I haven't. I'm not a lawyer.
I didn't know this world existed until you brought it up.
I know. I'm sorry. But
you're of that age. You're the animation generation. Anime generation, I should say.
I'm serious. I don't think we're the anime generation. I think it's maybe it's the very young millennials, but it's definitely the generation right after me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They're more into it. But we're the
stewards.
Zero.
We brought it in. We said, actually, there is a market here for it. And then we opened the floodgates for everybody to enjoy. Right. Holy shit. That was a mouthful there. That was an assful, my friend. Murray, we got some shit we need to talk about. Of course, we've been doing our grievance over Danzig for a few weeks now because that motherfucker.
We don't want to.
We don't want to.
He's forcing us to. You're forcing us to, Glenn.
Yeah. And it turns out everybody has a Danzig food story.
They do. I was talking to someone who might be a future guest. They were at the fest, the notorious fest, where Mr. Glenn Danzig refused to go on until he got his French onion soup.
Was this in Texas too?
Yes, it's in Texas, yeah.
You see, this is why we love Danzig. You're in hot ass Texas, getting ready to do a fucking show, and you're like, I want the soup that's not only cooked, boiling hot, but you also bake it in a bowl so that you can melt cheese on top.
Yeah, very creamy. Yeah.
It's so amazing.
Well, you don't want to send like a hot bowl of soup on a 100-degree day?
And in Texas, that's 6 months out of the year. Yeah. So is it one of the other 6 months? I think not. I think it's a summer month. Yeah, that's the concert.
Yeah, if you're having like an outdoor fest, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, but anyways, here's the new food story we have to add to it. So a friend of mine happened to, mention that, they asked, how's that show coming along? Oh, it's pretty good for the most part. And I was like, one thing's been bugging me. Motherfucking Danzig. And then, I did the thing like, Misfit singer and all that. And she was like, I know. And I was like, oh.
Don't misplain me.
Yeah, I know. And then I was like, oh, yeah, do you
It's
know?
called dansplaining, by the way.
Yeah, dansplaining. Yeah. And then she even knew his real name.
Yeah.
Dropped Glenn Anzalone. I was like, whoa, what the fuck's going on here? I was very happy to be talking to somebody. And then she's like, I've had a run-in with him. I was like, what? What is happening here? So bizarre moments everywhere. Pine Knob. Okay. Now called the DTE Energy Center?
No, it's back to Pine Knob.
Good.
They did change it to the DT because we live in that era where people pay to have their company's name on the thing.
Yep.
Pine Knob, it was Pine Knob forever. And then our DT Energy Center, and like everyone still called it Pine Knob, so fuck it, it's Pine Knob again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You'll get to hear this. We were just talking about how you're not caught up on Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
WWF was recently at the LCA, and Jim just went off.
Little Caesars Arena for
people
outside of Detroit.
Speaking of horribly named stadiums.
Yeah. Well, at least it's the owner owns Little Caesars.
Yeah, it could be Illich Stadium, which would be annoying.
Yeah.
Tiger Stadium used to be Briggs Stadium for the longest time. One of the owners, co-owners.
I don't have a problem with Ford Field because Ford is a name synonymous with Detroit.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, Little Caesars. So we shit on Little Caesars pizza, which it is a pretty bad pizza.
Yeah, it's awful.
But then when you try to say Pizza Hut's better, I'm like, no, it's just as bad, if not worse.
We always said mom and pop is where you got to get your pizza.
And then they said Domino's is better.
They're all awful.
And again, Domino's is just as bad, if not worse.
I've noticed in commercials for the pepperoni. It's always a pepperoni pizza in a commercial. They have. Is this supposed to be appealing, like delicious, curled up pepperoni filled with grease?
Oh man, I like those those.
This looks gross. It's like this is grease all on the.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand it's not a health food, but you don't.
I get that, but I do like the cupped pepperonis too. Yeah. I do like those. Primo's
they're fine with me as long as they're not full of grease.
My favorite mom and pop that's local to me, Primo's. They do the cupped pepperonis.
Okay.
And, whew,
but Danzig,
this woman, goes backstage at Pine Knob.
Okay.
And she says, I spot
when he was playing Pine Knob.
Yeah, I know.
He had to be opening for somebody.
Yeah, maybe.
Did she say what year this was?
I did not catch the year.
Okay.
So she's like, yeah, I'm backstage, and I see like 3 or 4 models walking around with large bowls of fruit. Glenn, this is appropriate. Fruit. And then she's like,
wait, we're using the word models.
Yes.
Adult models, would you say?
I didn't get that much of a description because the whole hilarity of the situation was already killing me.
Okay.
Bowls of fruit. He's got better set dressing in real life than he does in his movies.
Is it a a bowl of fruit or like a scooped out watermelon filled with fruit.
That would have been interesting.
yeah.
This was explained to me as bowls, like
Okay.
metallic bowls full of fruit. And I was like, come on,
all kinds of fruit.
what's in here? And she's like, I spotted grapes. Lots of them. Multiples.
Of course, he would want to
Green
be fed
grapes.
grapes. Yeah.
Green grapes, purple grapes, Concord grapes, all the grapes. Apples pouring
Grapes of
everywhere.
wrath.
Grapes of
The most
wrath.
metal of all grapes.
Of
Grapes
course. Well, that's
wrath.
how you get prepared for a metal show.
Right.
The grapes of
I
wrath.
just imagine him stomping them, making wine.
Right. And then she's like, and then Glenn, parts
Did you say
them and
glands?
glands. Glenn parts through his, his wenches, his fruit wenches, and I like go up to get a picture with them. Obviously we know Glenn is short, and she's like, I didn't realize how short he was. Like I had an inch on him, and so there he is doing something smart. Fruit. Get your vitamins in, refreshing. Get a little bit of that
There
sugar.
were just women standing backstage holding bowls of fruit, just in case he ever wanted some fruit.
Maybe in between.
Wench! Bring me my fruit.
If only like in between songs, you just see like grapes being thrown at him.
He would catch him.
He would. I want that.
Only on Golan-Globus Theater, people. You're not going to hear that story.
I want
anywhere
that to
else.
be real so bad.
It
but
is.
that's
it's real in my
the
my
fruit
life.
bowl is real, but the catching the grapes, the hungry hippo grape fetch is what I want to be real. Yeah. All right, my other gripe this week, Murray. Black jerseys in sports. If you're not a team that uses black as like a main color, Buccaneers, looking at you, they use it. Vegas Golden Knights, they use it.
Not always they didn't.
Oh, yeah, that's
used to
true.
be
They used to be the
creamsicle
creamsicle,
orange,
yeah.
yeah.
But they adopted this new red and
Well,
black look.
what's the cutoff then, Griff? Maybe I'm coming. I was on your side when you first started this argument. Now maybe I'm on the other side.
The alternate jersey. So we always have teams will have like their home and away, and it's like a reverse of their normal colors, and then they bring in the alternate jersey.
Well, we know that black is tough. It's edgy. That's why people want to have their black jerseys.
And every time, me and my buddies, we're always like, fuck these black jerseys. So the Lions are adopting their alternate black jerseys again. The last time they had these, when they were the same old Lions, the miserable Lions we've all had to fucking suffer through in Detroit.
Yeah.
For what, 30 years?
My entire life.
Your entire life. Your entire life.
I'm
Some of
fit.
those Barry
I'm-
years
I'm-
were good.
I'm fit. Yeah, they were competitive.
Yeah. But I just don't get it. Why is black jersey cool to all the fucking knobs who like sports?
Like I said, black is the cool person color. It's you're tough, you're edgy. We all know that uniforms now are a racket. It's about making people spend $200 on a fucking jersey.
Yeah, that's
many times as you can.
yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with just the away and the home jerseys, and that's
Agreed.
it. Nothing else.
Do you like the Thanksgiving ones? How we do the traditional jerseys?
That's fine with me
I think that's cool.
because that's a tradition.
Yeah.
We play on Thanksgiving.
Yep. I think
I'm
that's
fine
cool
with
as shit.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just Honolulu blue and silver. That's all we need.
Honolulu blue, people.
Yeah.
That's the lion blue, and that's beautiful because we are not a tropical climate.
No, well, we are now thanks to global warming.
That's right. Well, I mean, we're looking out on a nice 90-degree day. Sun's blaring in on it's balmy and cold as shit.
So yeah, we nay on the black jerseys. So
We're moving on. We're talking about a current trend going on TikTok right now, Murray. Last week,
yeah, I've heard of this
Yeah.
TikTok site.
you've heard of TikTok. We should jump on there.
China's going to destroy America with this site.
Oh my God, yeah.
Unless they sell it to an American billionaire.
Right. In which case, it's just the same people are already using our data, scraping all the information about us and
But
selling it back.
Americans are using our data. And we can trust Elon Musk and Zuckerberg with our data.
He had to recall all of the Cybertrucks.
Yeah,
that he
well,
released.
apparently if they get wet, they explode. Did you hear that? Your warranty is no. If you go through a car wash, your warranty is nullified.
It's nullified. Oh my God. Somebody, they just glued like a piece over the gas pedal. And so somebody was driving. Of course, you're putting pressure on the gas pedal. And the little cover, they just kind of put like a glue on it. And it just slipped off and wedged under something. So the guy's like, I had to like I was trying to kick it. I'm speeding through.
Homer Simpson was a better car designer than Elon Musk.
Homer Simpson is a lot of better things than Elon Musk, the supposed genius who's,
Yeah.
meritocracy, Murray. It always works.
What were we saying? TikTok.
We're talking TikTok. We're talking last week.
My favorite Kesha song. by the
yes,
way.
of course.
20-year reference. I'm up on it.
You were talking last week. I think it was in your introduction to Fire and Ice. You mentioned that the Frank Rosetta era, the Conans, everything, Gore is the male smut.
Yeah, it's the male power fantasy,
You got the male character who you just go ahead and imagine yourself into.
Right.
And then you have the woman who's into him.
Right. In a very submissive way.
Yeah.
Like clawing at your dick,
Yep.
on the ground beneath you.
Right. There is, we always say it, you got to have a little hate before you get the love.
Yeah.
And there's a second of hate in this relationship. A second. Like a blink of an eye. But the point we're getting to is I'm realizing now, you said it as well last week, women are into their romance now. That's their version of this.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they got as much animation and comics and all that shit.
Yeah, they might be changing now. But
But-
I'm saying, like, for my generation and older, yeah.
Yeah. According to...
Especially old ladies. Old ladies love romance novels.
According to this book, talk. I guess that's like a hashtag you can follow and stuff. Then book talk.
Book talk, all right.
And what's going on over there is just like shitty story. Imagine the Danzig of women's romance. That's what's happening right now. And they're selling out all over the place, apparently.
Is it still the fantasy that we were talking about with men? Is it a man dominating a woman, or is it reverse?
I could not tell you. I'm not reading these fucking things. I was trying to do the research because I was perplexed by this because you were just telling me about this last week. And I was fascinated. And what I did get to see is a bunch of dudes. Why are women writing shit like this? They shouldn't be doing. And I was like, what the fuck? I thought males were the gender who just go, hey, let people have their shit.
I thought males just didn't read anymore, so
But
that's why everything book-wise is geared toward girls and women. Now,
Yeah.
because they're the only people who read still.
Right.
Boys just play video games all fucking
That's supposed to be what it is. But these are like 23-year-old kids on TikTok. These books are porn. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, so what?
Who cares if they're selling? You could buy other books. There's so many books, and there's like, I gotta make book talk a better place for everybody.
So the gripe is women are finally getting off on something. Not even finally, they've always been around.
They've always, yeah.
Fabio.
They just learned.
Fabio, people.
Fabio, Chippendales.
But no, that was Fabio's thing. He was the romance novel, like
Chippendale.
Paint.
Oh, yeah, he's on all the
covers. Yeah.
He is. Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know who designed that man, but that's Fran Lazetta.
What?
Frank Lazetta? Fran Lazetta?
What?
Lazetta? What's
Frank
his
Frazetta.
name? Frazetta. Well, there we go. It's close. It's adjacent. Fran Lazetta.
Okay.
Okay.
Go on.
Anyways, book talk. So yeah, so all these.
Did you
all
say
these,
book talk?
book talk? I
Book
thought I
talk.
said book talk. I might have said buck talk. But the thing is, I'm just bothered by like these young dudes who are upset at young women getting off to fucking like smutty novels. Who the fuck cares?
First of all, you want to encourage that. You want girls to be horny.
Why are they pumping the brakes on that too?
It's just, it's like the Roe versus Wade thing. Like they want to control women, and it's just like let women do what they want to fucking do. All right.
So it made me
Get out of people's lives, for fuck's sake. That goes for everybody.
Yeah.
The left and the right. Stop telling people what to fucking do.
Everybody should have their smut. You know, if you want smut, come get it. Tross full of shit. Just get in there. Warm a butthole or two, people.
That's why we're here. We're the
Right?
smuttiest fucking action podcast on the fucking planet.
We don't even try to make this shit work out. We
We-
try to tell you about the romance. We try to get you by the fireplace. You know, we try to really class it up.
Trying to dehard it.
I mean, every winter episode we do when we know there's gonna be a sexy scene, I wear a turtleneck. We light a candle.
We have an open fire in Griff's stove as we're trying. That's just trying to keep us warm. It has nothing to do with
That's just it's beautiful to look at too. It encourages us throughout the episode.
Yeah.
So the point is that I'm getting to. It made me feel better about watching some of these because I did. It's like, oh man, this is just complete male fantasy. But women have female fantasy too.
We all have.
We all have our smut. Yeah. So I enjoy this movie a lot more.
I wouldn't call it this movie smut, but it definitely is a male power fantasy. I mean, we should have that. I mean, young boys want to have that's why I like superheroes. That's what comic books, superhero comic books, are all about. It's about the power fantasy. Yeah. If I had this power, what would I do with it? Would I use it for good? Would I use it for evil? I mean, I was a big John Claude guy, so I was like, I'm going to use my power to basically be asexual for the longest time. But I do like showing my butt off. I did say that to a girl once after she broke up with me. I was like, it sucks that we're not dating anymore, but if you do want to touch my butt, so it's like Tina Belcher in high school, apparently. I actually said that to her. And then you wonder why she dumped you.
This was after she dumped me.
If you'd ever like to take, and was this pre phone cameras? Like, if you want to take a Polaroid of my ass. I didn't go that. You know how to reach me.
I didn't go that far. I just said if you would like to grope my butt sometime, go for it. I have no fucking.
There's a bridge right there.
Bridge right there.
There's some male butt groping in this movie.
There is. We'll get to. There is. Yeah. I'm glad that man jellied up. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, it saved his life.
When I Googled this movie today, what was one of my results? It was for a Hindi kids movie. That was the description that I found. There is a YouTube version of this that apparently somebody translated into Hindi.
Okay.
And it was put down as animated kids movie.
Well, it is for the most part. I mean, there's no nudity.
It's a lot of suggested nudity.
Well, like when are kids going to learn? It was a PG movie.
Yeah.
It was the 80s when we trusted kids. We're like, you can handle a chick who's jiggling her ass, using the fog. Kids got to learn about the fog at an early age, or they're gonna be a slave to it in their adulthood. So I'm all for it.
Right. Like we said, this was a movie trying to indoctrinate children into asses. Clearly.
Yeah.
There is some of that footwork too. Like she's holding her toes up to the camera.
There's a scene where she's literally just putting herself into sexual positions.
Yes. Within the first 10 minutes of the movie, you're staring down
face down, ass up.
Yeah, you are staring into this.
Ankles behind her head, yeah.
And then they go over to like her maiden or whatever she was.
Teacher, whatever, lady in waiting.
She's also wearing like a super hoed out outfit.
Yeah, every woman's sexy. Even the crazy fucking witch doctor broad is sexy. Like,
we learned this from Conan. You gotta have a sexy witch woman. Like
you do.
Because then it's like, who's getting...
Have they
done the thing where you get like some kind of stooge in there, a jobber in there to fuck the witch woman, and you see the consequences of fucking the witch woman?
They should have. Maybe that was a cutout scene.
I mean, I'm saying across all the, Conan fantasy type shit.
I don't know. I'm sure it's there somewhere.
It's got to be somewhere.
Okay, so this movie, Fire and Ice, Ralph Bakshi teamed up with one of his heroes, Frank Frazetta, because he was like, this art's amazing, and it is. Frank Frazetta is my favorite fantasy artist because he never used a photograph script. It was all from his head. He says, everything I came up with came from my mind, and it shows. And it's shit. And technically, there's people that are better, like Boris Vallejo, which I know even if you don't know what I'm talking about, you've seen his shit.
Sure.
Because it looks almost like a photograph.
Okay.
But so you can tell he's using models
and stuff.
But what happens when you do that is everything looks stiff because it's literally a person posing.
Oh, okay.
Frank Frazetta and this is not easy to do. Everything looks like it's in motion, like it's dynamic art.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to do. Most people can't do that. And so that's why, to my opinion, he's one of the greatest fantasy illustrators of all time. You wouldn't know who fucking Conan was if it wasn't for Frank Frazetta, because it was an obscure character until the 60s when Frank started doing the covers.
Okay.
They released it, and then it became huge.
This is comic or novels?
Novels.
Okay.
Which later spawned the comic books.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure we got a timeline there.
Because I have this on DVD, and there was a bonus documentary on Frank Frazetta, which is very interesting. He's a very interesting guy, multi-talented. He was doing. I mean, he was a guy who was a born artist. Like he just had the gift.
Yeah.
Because he was almost all self-trained. I think he took a few years in art class, and then his teacher died or whatever, and then that was it.
He just said, "Fuck it, I'm doing my own thing."
But they showed shit from when he was 8 years old, and it wasn't like amazing. I mean, for an 8-year-old, it was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
it looked like something.
It's no Dune, but
no Dune like your niece, but yeah, it looked like something an adult would do.
Nice.
And so this is the most. I mean, he was a great athlete. I guess the New York Giants, the baseball team, not the football team.
good call.
Jean-Claude, if you're listening. Frank Dukes, if you're listening.
Frank Dukes, yeah.
Wanted him to like play for them, and he was just like, "No, I'd rather do the art kind of thing."
Wow.
So, yeah, so he started out drawing comic books, and then he said, and the guy was like, "Oh, this is fine. You can never do painting." He's like, "Fuck yeah, I could do painting." And then he went into painting, did that. You know, he does watercolors, oils.
I was gonna say a lot of the backgrounds of this movie look like oil paintings. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I really
And
like it.
the most amazing thing was, later in his life, he had a couple strokes, and it fucked up his right hand. So he just started drawing with his left.
What?
Yeah, and it looked just as good as the shit he was doing with his right.
No wonder why the New York baseball giants wanted him. He's ambidextrous.
Right.
That's incredibly talented.
So yeah, he was an incredibly talented guy, and Ralph Bakshi. I want to say Bakshi, but it's Bakshi.
He's got back right in his name.
Yeah, baby got Bakshi.
Of course, he's an ass man.
Yeah, he was just like, we got to do something. People need to know, like the rest of the world. I mean, the people that are cool always knew who Frank Frazetta was, but he's like, everyone needs to know. So let's do this movie because Ralph Bakshi is the king of adult animation. He did a bunch of movies in the 70s. He also did The Lord of the Rings. You ever see the Lord of the Rings animated movie?
I've never seen it, but
I saw that in the theaters when I was a kid. One thing I don't like about Bakshi, but I understand why he does it, because he's obviously had very limited budgets, because we're in this animation ghetto, at least in America, where all animation's for children. And
Right.
So he couldn't obviously get the funding that you would need. A lot of rotoscoping. I'm not a big fan of rotoscoping.
Yeah, we talked about that in Heavy Metal.
I understand it in a way because it does. The fluidity of motion is a lot better because you're actually just drawing over people.
Right.
But didn't you seem like it literally? There was no depth to it. It literally looked like a picture on top of a picture.
Yeah.
Like they didn't look like they were in the environment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's off-putting.
Yeah.
It doesn't settle well in my belly.
So yeah, I didn't look back. I've had a busy week, so I didn't really look into the backstory of this movie. But it seemed I'd seen like the poster for it and all this shit. I'd never seen it. I never seen it on VHS. I never saw it at Blockbuster or anything until they released it on DVD. So I got that like 10 years ago. He's not the main character. He should be the main character. Dark Wolf looks fucking awesome.
Cool.
And
as
I'm
shit.
like so hyped. And I gotta be honest. I'm like, this movie left me wanting more. There's not much to this movie.
Very bare bones,
which
is what we were thinking we were getting a lot more with Animation Month.
Right. I mean, the script. I mean, we needed a break. We were doing like fucking 4 pages of notes. The script was written by Roy Thomas and Jerry Conway, who wrote the Conan comic in the 70s.
Okay.
And I was like, they're pretty good writers. This is kind of a mediocre story.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much going on here. But I don't know. I guess the limitations of animation, I don't know what caused it. But I think Dark Wolf, the character, deserves a better movie. Apparently, Robert Rodriguez has the rights to it, has done nothing with it. I don't know if he's the guy I'd want because he uses a lot of green screen. That's like his thing. Because he's that very much on a budget filmmaker.
Yeah.
So he's got his studio in Austin, Texas, and he just films everything in his studio on green screen. Which can work. I mean, it worked for Sin City, I thought. But I would not want it. This movie, I think, needs like real environments.
Just
you're going to redo
exactly with how Sin City worked, that worked out perfectly for it. Yeah, that movie looks great at the way it is. Yeah. But I want to. If you're going to do like a weird sword and sandal type thing, again, it's like I want it to be in the environment.
Right. I don't see. This is what sucks because every movie costs $300 million now for some reason. It all has to be. Everyone has to come. They want everybody. Yeah. So everything has to be for kids. Like we'll never get like a epic adult movie.
Yeah.
You know, like Conan the Barbarian. We'll never get that because it's like there's not enough people to go see it because of the budget.
Yeah, and now it's like an art thing to do to have like any kind of nudity, close nudity, a woman being lusted on or a man being lusted on.
That would be
like
that. See, yeah, that would be another issue
That's
because
a
of.
backseat issue now.
I think I was telling you about this last week. There, a new Red Sonja movie's coming out.
Yeah.
and this will play into the book talk you were talking about. They're like Red Sonja, because everyone, if you don't know Red Sonja, I'm not talking about the Brigitte Nielsen movie. I'm talking about the comic book. She's known for she has the chainmail bikinis, which she wears. All right, and because once again, male fantasy, this world, but women who like that too. Because in this movie, the new one they're making, well, we want to take her out of the male gaze. We want to make her a tough woman. She can still be sexy and tough at the same time.
Yeah.
So she's wearing just like boring fucking like the Brigitte Nielsen fucking movie. She had a fucking mullet for fuck's sake.
Oh.
And she just had this, it's like the look, the bikini is iconic. It would be like not having Conan wearing like a loincloth or whatever, like not being shirtless like fucking Schwarzenegger was.
Like, what's the point of doing Red Sonja if you're gonna take away like the main like
right? Which not only men like, there's a lot of women who like that sexy fucking look. They want to see Red Sonja like she looks.
Yeah, I mean, this is also the age of cosplay chicks. And
right.
There's women trying to make a living off cosplaying as these chicks.
And I guarantee you, every woman who cosplays as Red Sonja does it with the fucking chainmail bikini.
Exactly.
So I don't know why we can't have that, but we won't. We can't. We live in a world where we can't have that.
What we can have, Murray, some trailer.
All right, people, get ready for this trailer. This is not. I'm sorry, people. This is George R.R. Martin had nothing to do with this movie. This is all Bakshi and Frank Frazetta, their tale of fire and ice.
In an age of myth and legend, the world trembles before the power of Necron, master of evil, ruler of ice. Against him stand Tigra, princess of Firekeep, and captive of the ice demons, Larn, last of a mighty warrior tribe, and her only hope of escape. And Dark Wolf, mysterious avenger, and sworn enemy of the Ice Tyrant. Their courage will be tested. The challenge must be met. The final battle between the armies of the cold and the keepers of the flame is about to begin. Fire and Ice. From the visual imagination of Ralph Bakshi and the dazzling artistry of Frank Frazetta, a fantasy adventure from 20th Century Fox.
We open up, and we've got a voiceover explaining the last great ice age ushered in Juliana, the evil ice queen, who's probably got little titties, and that's why she hides them.
Right, but their nipples are probably hard because it's so cold.
God damn, this place is cold, and no one wears pants.
It's everyone is half naked in this movie. The human form is on display.
You know the old adage, sun's out, dong's out, but they're like, no sun, dong's still flopping here.
That's why they're subhumans, Griff.
Yeah, there's
because
no
the army of Juliana and Necron are subhumans. I don't say that word. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
I say different people.
Different strokes. Different people.
Neanderthals, if you will.
It's actually pronounced, Murray, Neanderthals. God damn it. God damn it.
That's why I'm going to call them subhumans from now on.
But yeah, so she bore a son, this Juliana.
Perfect evil guy named Necron.
Well, she's the ice queen, so she's got to have a son that matches her icy evilness.
Horrible tan, so we know he's evil.
Oh my God, no tan.
Exactly.
Reverse tan. He's he might as well be in the Edgar Winter group.
He is Edgar Winter, which makes perfect sense. He's in the ice realm, Edgar Winter.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we got it's like black and white
Yes.
Fire, ice.
Fire, ice. So all the people who are like, hey, we hate the fucking army of the ice people. We're going to go to the Fire Kingdom because the king's cool over here. King Jarl, you say his name?
King Jarl.
Jarl.
So the movie starts out.
Which is a dumb way of saying Charles, which half the kings are named. You see how they did that?
The movie starts out. We hit the ground running. We got that exposition out of the way. We just see a giant glacier from the ice realm barging its way into the fire realm, which is a jungle habitat.
Yep. They
reverse global warming.
Reverse global warming. They say like the last thing that voiceover lady says is like the people get caught in between this fucking war between really it's the ice kingdom waging war on the fire kingdom.
Yeah.
But they're like anybody gets caught in between just gets fucking wiped out, and so that's kind of what we're picking up here.
Well,
a town in between.
It looks very. I'm getting. Speaking of Song of Fire and Ice, very Game of Thrones in that there's a big wall and there's a fucking ice, just like Jon Snow.
The Wall of the North or whatever. Yeah.
So this is where we see. By the way, everyone's just wearing loincloths because they make sense. They're in the fucking Fire Kingdom.
Yeah.
We see our hero. Larn? I was about to say Tarl for a second because I was getting Tarl vibes off this guy.
I mean, he's just got longer hair and he braids it.
Yeah. And so unfortunately, he is our hero.
Oh, you know what? I just realized Mockingbird just borrowed Larn's look and applied it to that one chick who plays the Mockingbird lady.
What?
Hunger Games. Is what I'm talking about.
I thought you were talking about the fucking Michael Flatley movie, Blackbird. Mockingbird, You're right. Yeah, I'm sure that's where it came from. Yep. So we see the glaciers is coming towards the wall. It shatters it. Our hero Larn falls off the wall. Before he looks up at a hilltop and he sees a mysterious silhouette of a man on a giant horse.
Oh my God! There's probably so many prog metal songs written about this character on this horse.
There should be.
Should be.
I'm
Anthrax
sure
probably has a whole album about him.
Molly Hatchet plays a cover.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, would you buy thinking you're gonna get those songs and you get fucking some redneck boogie shit? And you're like,
it's so
what?
Weird. So weird. All right, so we've got the ice wall forming. Like chunks are dropping down on this little wooden stick fortified town. People are getting crushed as glaciers break off.
And our hero Larn
them.
falls off the wall and hits his head, and he's knocked out.
As we see, don't we see the subhumans like take over?
Yeah, they rush in after the glaciers knock down the wall, and they start griffing and groping. They start stealing shit and groping the women's.
That's right.
So this is where we up. We got a beautiful blonde woman being groped on by the subhumans. Larn, I guess he likes to watch. He's pretending to be asleep or knocked out. He's watching. And then he sees his moment because there's some guy griffing the bodies.
That's right.
And
sees a nice watch on somebody. Time traveling.
So fucking Disturbed CD.
They're coming back, Murray. Did you know that? Is that why you dropped it? You want to get the word out there? I think it's that.
So there's a flail, a morning star, if you will, just out of arm's reach of Larn.
That's right. So we just inching closer and closer. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Dee-dee-dee-dee. It's doing the cartoon, you know. You got to really build up that tension. Yeah.
Grabs it and just bam, crushes his subhuman's head. But don't worry, he's subhuman. That means you can do that.
Yeah.
He's not human. He's subhuman.
This is fodder for the taking. And the sound is loud. People hear it. The other subhumans hear it, and they have like B footage of just the subhumans running that they apply over like a different background. It seemed like.
Yeah.
So we just see the subhumans constantly running, fluidly.
Right. That's basically it. And this is why we had a big opening, people, because this is not a lot to this movie.
Yeah, we might actually get this episode still in like 95 minutes or so.
Right, because it's just chasing and running away.
Constant running.
Chasing and running away.
I would love to see someone try to animate Steven Seagal's running. Because remember that? There's a lot of...
There actually is that little gif of animated Steven Seagal running.
Is it actually like cartoon?
Rotoscoped? No.
A rotoscope? Yeah, that YouTube video I made of Seagal running. Yeah, I want that.
So Larn takes out some more subhumans, but they're too many, so he runs away. Leaves that poor blonde woman be raped and groped.
Man, this makes sense, though. Of course, he's a hunter in his fucking tribal village and everything. He's going to be good on his feet. He's going to be a good runner, good distance runner.
He runs into the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. You're going to die. And he's being chased.
Right, still getting chased. He's got a spear thrown at him, but he senses it. You know,
It's an axe.
Oh, it's an axe?
Yeah, a double-headed axe. He's about to climb a tree, and then an axe hits it. He grabs it, throws it back, hits the subhuman in the chest.
Accurate.
Kills his ass, starts climbing, but just before he can do that, give me those cakes. Fucking subhuman grabs his butt, literally
Come on,
grabs
give me
his
those
butt,
cakes.
and it's just, I love how just slowly the butt just comes out of his hands like.
This is why people.
You couldn't do this without rotoscope.
Yeah, exactly. This is why we open with Ass Man, because Bakshi and Frazetta. What's that?
Yeah.
What is it?
Frazetta, F-R-A-Z-E-T-T-A.
Frazetta.
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 There you go.
This is why they're subliminally putting in your brain ass.
Equal opportunity
But
ass.
yeah, exactly.
But
But
so he gets away because he's got a perfectly peck-jellied ass.
that's right. These hands, you see, like they took their time to animate this. You see the hands indent into his flesh, and he has pointed nails. He still cannot break that back jelly barrier.
Yes.
It's that strong,
So he
people.
climbs up the tree like 100 fucking feet. They follow him. He's hanging from a fucking branch. He grabs the fucking subhuman, throws him off. He's being still.
Yeah, hunted up. He's climbing higher and higher. It's the jungle equivalent of going to the roof of a building.
They
What-
pass by Chewbacca's house with Itchy and Scratchy, his fucking son. Lumpy, I think, was his son.
Lumpy.
And then he's just like, you know what? He looks down. He's like, fuck it. I'm just going to leap of faith.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let these fucking subhumans warm my butthole.
Right. So he just
That guy did grab his ass. He's
Yeah.
probably thinking that
Ah.
he's been under a bridge.
Right. So he just leap of faith, just jumps thousands of feet, but the vines catch him, so he slows his descent.
He's probably done this before, for a bet. Like,
Right.
I want to eat that fish tonight. You bet me that fish, I'll survive this jump.
All right. So that's, as far as we know, he's okay. He's knocked unconscious.
All right, and now we need to get the kids. They saw that butt being grabbed, and they were like, "Oh, geez, I like those juicy cakes. Maybe I'm into men. Maybe I'm in." So this was actually being like, we got to put the kids back on the other side.
Right. No indoctrination here.
No.
So we cut back to the fire keep where we meet the damsel in distress of this movie, because all she does is get captured, get rescued, and get captured again throughout
That's
the
right.
entire movie.
That's right.
But she does it sexily, so we're okay with it. She's getting her lessons from her sexy teacher. This sounds like a lesbian porn, like waiting to be like
I know.
made.
Does she agree? She's saying bye to her dad or whatever. Like King's in here. I thought Jar was in here right away.
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
they're just she's getting her lessons, and I forget what it was. She has her Black Panther Shaitan, which apparently by MDB means Satan in Arabic.
Oh.
And like we said, we alluded to earlier, this Tigra's literally, as she's getting her lesson, bending into all these different sex positions.
Yes.
She's putting her fucking ankles behind her head. She's fucking ass up, face down.
She's jiggling her toes into the frame. Like we're looking down her thighs into her vagina. And she is Frank was like, we are in a lava kingdom, so clearly no one's going to be wearing clothes here.
Yeah.
So she is wearing like a piece of floss.
Right. She's wearing a string bikini. But she's learning at the same time, so it's okay.
Learning.
And she's like, why do I have to be stuck here? Why can't I go fight with my brother, Taro?
Yeah.
And she's just like, no, you're a beautiful princess. That's what princesses do.
That's right.
Remember, this is 1980s, people.
Now-
Gender roles were fucking in lockdown.
They were locked out. We're going down to King Jarl's throne,
Right.
where he's been given, being presented an offer by Necron's
Yeah,
messengers.
Necron sent his messengers who were like goblin people and in like cowls.
Yep.
And just, give up your land and we'll let you live. And he's like, sorry, I can't accept that offer. His son, Taro, was like, fuck you. We're not going to fight to the death.
And of course, they're like, you will rue the day you turned down our offer. And we get a nice little cut outside where we see some ghouls climbing up the building.
We see the subhumans. His army of subhumans.
That's right.
They're climbing up the castle where our Lady Tigra is learning.
Learning. Yep. Might as well have a Khaleesi situation here where she's being learned how to pleasure herself, pleasure a man, shit like
probably
that.
In those days, that was learning. That's what she's there for the breeding stock.
I pointed this out to you because we had to go listen to the voiceover a minute ago, and there's these nice pencil sketches and everything that Frank did that they just threw in there. It's awesome. Yeah. But one of them is Tigra laying at her dad's feet. Yeah. Not like the guy she wants to fuck. Her dad's feet.
You got to learn somewhere.
She did have her Black Panther with her, though.
She did, Shaitan.
Yeah.
And so the subhumans get into her room and they knock the fucking sexy teacher down. They're hot for teacher. Not so hot for teacher.
They choked her for a while. Her tits jiggled, almost burst out, because that's what happens. It's like a cartoon.
Right.
When you can't, you get choked, your breath gets stuck, your boobs expand.
She's into being choked.
Oh, yeah.
So she had an intense orgasm and fainted. So she's out of the way of the teacher.
It was just like that character from Archer. I forget the girl's name, but there's the woman in there who just loved that shit. Yeah.
So they throw her over her shoulder so we can get another ass shot. Because her ass is just hanging out there. Yes. And somehow they climb down with her on their shoulder. They didn't show that.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that. Or maybe they just jumped into a moat or some shit.
So Taro, King Gerald's son, the brother of Tigra, is like, fuck you messengers. We're going to take you out. So he just kills these fucking guys.
Right. And King Jarl meets him outside, and he's like, Dad, we got to fuck these shits up. Send out the goddamn Darkhawks.
The Dragon Hawks.
Dragon Hawks.
Which are just pterodactyls.
They're just pterodactyls, everybody.
And he's like, I don't know, son. The jungle is so thick.
A mother bird couldn't even find her own nest out there.
They aren't likely to help, son. But I'll do it for you. Or doesn't he? I think he doesn't even send them out, does he?
You see them leave, but we don't get anything out of it. We just cut down.
We talk about time a lot in our movies.
We love to talk about timing.
Distance in this movie.
Yeah.
You'd think they would literally be 100 yards outside the castle. I think they're supposed to be 100 miles away by now.
Yeah. We're getting the idea that the ice fortress is moving closer because we watch Necron
Well, the fortress isn't, just the glacier is.
Yeah. I thought the glacier was their fortress moving, essentially.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I mean, I understand what you're saying because, like you said, distance is
weird.
Yeah. You don't know how far away things
We
are.
spend a good amount of time.
And everybody walks, except unless you have a dragon hawk.
Yeah. We spend a good amount of time in the fucking jungle here. But yeah, how they just they spend less than a day going through the jungle. I guess they do sleep one time.
Yeah.
But they're not
they're knocked out.
And they're trying to move the other. Never mind.
So they stop. The subhumans stop to get a drink from a pond. Very weird pond. Shallow, 2 feet in, and then a drop of thousands of feet.
Yes.
They just throw Tigra in. They want a wet T-shirt contest, apparently.
We're going right back to the heavy metal bit where they had the sacrificial pool or whatever, and there was a whole fucking ravine that went all the way under, just crazy subsystem.
So they throw Tigra in there because they I'm sure Juliana said, Don't you fuck that girl.
Yeah.
So they want the next best thing, wet T-shirt contest. So they throw her in there.
Well, she was also wearing the see-through shawl shit. Not shawl, but just whatever. And they ripped that off her.
She just has a string bikini on now.
So we see her go underwater, and we see her focus and channel her
lessons, Griff.
Yes, exactly. And what did you say her lessons were?
Lessons in fog. Because these are basically animals. These are subhumans. So it hits them hard.
Your typical strip club attendee.
Right.
Yeah. They are wearing sweat cloths.
So she gets out of the water and does what she was born to do.
Right.
Shake that ass, shake them tits.
Play with the hair. She did a hair flip that Kevin Nash would be jealous of.
And they're mesmerized, as they would be.
That's right. And then she dips back into the water, and they're they're biting their tongue. Oh, what's she going to do this time? Flip her hair the other way?
No, she dives 1,000 feet down this puddle, basically.
Right. And these guys, They're horned up. They're ready. They're fucking getting anxious. They're getting a little overexcited. So they start fucking punching each other. And they're like, "Where is this bitch? It's been too long." And they realize that this little pond is actually a secret ravine.
Right. And she escapes to safety. And they're like, "Oh fuck, Juliana's gonna fuck us up."
All right, so
they chase after her.
Yeah.
They find her. Because even though it's 10,000 feet deep, or 20,000 leagues, if you will, it's 5 feet across.
Right.
So
they see her like crawl into a giant.
well, they don't see her, but she does crawl into a hollowed out tree.
Oh,
trunk.
I thought they spotted her because
no.
one guy goes into the.
Well,
tree
no, that's
trunk.
the thing. They're trying to develop
Fish her out
tension,
or whatever. Yeah.
because that's the whole point of the scene. Because we think they see her.
Okay.
Because they're looking around.
and they
She's
see
hiding.
something.
We just see her butt fucking in that black hole in the tree.
She didn't even crawl into it. Her ass is hanging. It's
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. And they're like looking, and then we think he sees a crevasse in the tree trunk.
Yeah.
It's a different tree, though.
Oh,
because we're
okay.
thinking, oh my God, he's going to
It's-
grab that ass.
Oh, okay.
And he puts his hand in, and it's a nearby tree trunk with some fucking killer caterpillars in there.
Hey, you saying that Frank just like made things by imagination? This is a cool little fucking alien bug.
Yeah. And
That's
it just
cool
starts
shit.
chomping on this guy's hand. He's freaking out. Another guy stabs the shit out of it.
Right. And Tigra just kind of like pulls herself out and then just goes, "Hunch you!" And the camera just kind of focuses on in the background where we see Larn sleeping up in a tree.
Right. Was he sleeping or was he watching?
He might have been doing either. I don't
I
know.
don't know. And I think he was watching because he snaps into action.
Yeah.
And he kills a goon or two before continuing on his way. I think he's just like, all right. I think he didn't care about this woman. He's just like, I killed some subhumans. On to the next episode.
I mean, what? He's just going after Necron because his village got fucked up?
I don't know what the fuck. I think he's just wandering. He's just
'Cause that-
stumbling into shit.
he knows his
He
village-
has no mission. Darkwolf, who should have been the main character, has a mission.
Exactly. His mission basically is just, hey, I don't like the subhumans and Necron because they fucked my village up. But I don't even know if he realizes. I think everybody knew Necron was behind it.
Yeah. So the goons are looking for Tigra again. They see her, but just as they're closing in on her, giant iguana just jumps out of the water and attacks, eats one of the fucking guys. So they scatter again.
Right, and this is where Tigra is just like drifting off on a log.
Yeah, she tries to escape, so she like passes out from all the exhaustion. She just drifts like an island.
Yeah, like again, we're sitting on a frame of just a river floating by, and then we start to see a log enter from the right to the heading towards the left of the screen. And so you're thinking you're gonna see her head pop into the front. No, it's just her ass in the frame for a while there, and then we just follow her ass. We linger on that.
Yeah, she's constantly face down, ass up, yeah.
Some-
Not complaining, but that's
Sometimes she's animated like she has Kim Kardashian ass, and then other times she's animated like she just has like a large ass for her frame.
Plus, when you have different animators, you know.
Yeah, it's just
So yeah, she drifts off to like an island, and so moments later, a goon who just survived the iguana attack.
Yep.
He stumbles on her. He's fucked up.
He's still going for her though. He smells those cakes and he's got to get a bite that might get him back to health.
Right. But she's not having that. She's
No.
I'm not fucking subhumans. So she stabs him because he's weak in state. He can't really fight. She
Yeah.
stabs him with a stick.
That's it. That'll do it.
All right, so the goons, they have to report back to Juliana.
How are they gonna do that, Murray? They're in a fucking jungle.
Well, I would do magic fire. And that's what they do. They got a little magic dust.
You know what that is?
No, I don't.
That is her condensed fog. Juliana's.
Wow, you can do that?
fog.
Well, I guess you're right, because fog is a gas, if you will.
Yeah.
You can turn it into a liquid
Yes.
and then turn it into a solid.
So they just dropped
That's
in.
pure. That could fucking kill a man.
You got to be like, you don't snort skis that.
No, you
because what
don't.
they do is mix in like some ground up flour or
Pure
whatever.
concentrated pussy fog. Woo!
Yeah. It's I guess you could say it's a little watered down just because of like the dry object you use to absorb it, and then so it's a little floured down, you know.
It's got a little baby laxative in it. You know, it's like
it's not.
They stepped on it a little.
What's important is it's not fentanyl. You're not gonna OD after one hit, but if you take too big of a hit, holy shit! Like
It's been stepped on a little.
Yeah.
And so they sprinkle a little of that into their fire, and then a face of fog emerges. It's Juliana, and she is fucking pissed. And they're like, "Hakuna Matata,
yeah,
bunga bunga."
Their language was very native or I don't know what word I'm going for.
Very subhuman. If
Subhuman,
you will.
yeah.
And to prove that she's pissed, she fog strangles one of the guys.
What do we do with the insubordinate human? We kill them. This is where we get to see, you know, when I think we saw Juliana already. She's past her prime.
She's a woman of a certain age.
I mean, this is like... This is like the year 100.
She's over 40. You're right, Griff. Yeah,
dude, she's 33 in this movie. Necron is 8. Well, that's just how they looked back in the day.
Yeah,
I mean,
he died at like 45.
Today's 30 is yesteryear's 18. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I could go show you a picture of my dad at 23, and you'd be like, he's older than you.
Yeah, I could say the same thing about my parents.
Yeah.
No. What were you saying again? Juliana, she's over the hill, useless, dried up, and...
Did I have a point?
I thought you did.
Well, I guess what I was trying to say is that her ways of the fog are so intense that she can actually manifest physical objects with her magic fucking fog sprinkles. God, we haven't even talked about... We've talked so much about the fog. We have not even told people because it would blow their fucking mind if we told them how you could traverse fog around.
Yeah, the government had actually got in contact with us and said, you can't say that.
I know.
They gave us a list of things we can and can't say about fog.
Oops, I guess we'll get Aaron Rodgers on next week because we're talking conspiracy theories.
I guess we'll get knocked off YouTube again.
Yeah. I mean, some of those whispers we get in an envelope have, since we started talking about the fog, was that 2 years ago that we did Excalibur?
Yeah.
We were getting crystallized fog in envelopes with the whispers. Fuck me.
I thought it was anthrax. It was fog.
Guys, we immediately thought it was anthrax, so stop doing that.
So she kills the guy with her fog.
That's right. She strangles him, lifts him off the ground. It doesn't go up his nose or anything.
She chokeslams him.
But
he also, did you notice while he's being choked, he had an erection. He likes autoerotic asphyxiation.
So it goes both ways in this movie.
Yeah.
We saw the
He
woman
comes
get
and
off
goes
on
at
it,
the same time.
and we saw this guy get off on it. And like we said, they're wearing the sweatpant loincloth, so you see his dick pop up.
You can't hide that.
We saw it get a little dark around the,
He's pitching a tent.
He is pitching a tent.
And he dies. He blows a load and dies. Like everybody wants to go.
David Carradine.
So, Larn is wandering aimlessly, stumbles upon 4 wolves, and they're hungry. They're hungry like the wolf, if you will. He has a spear, only one spear though, so he manages to kill one of the wolves.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, there just happens to be a pole vault laying right next to him.
And I love this. What did I say his number one attribute was?
His hair? Rockstar hair?
I mean, his hair's good. Yeah. It was animated, very sleek. He conditions it. Yeah. Keeps it in a braid, though, because he doesn't want to make people, a little too ashamed of their own hair. Because the subhumans barely have hair. Right, they're all balding.
Right, yeah.
Come on, movie. What do you say?
No split ends with Larn,
yeah. But yeah, he's a great runner, Murray.
Right. Yeah, so we see that in this movie. All he does is run.
All he does. Yeah. So he's also a track and field star because he gets the pole vault and he knows just what to do.
And he just leaps right over the wolves. Did I point out? I did not like the music to this.
Oh, you have not yet.
Yeah, I did not like it. It was 2 kids' movies. I don't know how to describe. I don't know enough about music to really articulate what I mean. But it was too. It sounded like some fucking like public domain type fucking like music. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it wasn't
epic enough for me.
it's such a mixed message because it's like it's a kids movie. Also, it is something so far from a kid show. Like
Right.
you would never.
It's an 80s kids movie.
It's an 80s
Yeah.
kids because animation for a kid. There's got to be there. We could probably find some people, some adults out there, 18, 20-year-olds who saw this movie in the theater are like, I went to this movie a few times. And let's just say I got old Pee-wee out.
Let's say that. So he pole vaults, but he still gets cornered. And he turns around. All is lost for Lauren. He's a dead man. Until fucking Wolf gets shot with 2 arrows. And the other 2 just take the fuck off.
Yeah, they slowly pace around like, do we want to? Do we want to? No, we don't want to fuck with this guy.
And Lauren's going, yeah, my fucking hair scared those fucking wolves off.
He was...
Flips his fucking tail over his shoulder, Kevin Nash style.
Yep.
Takes off. He's exploring this island. He's on the same island, apparently, that Tigra washed up on. Because he finds these ruins.
Right.
And he sees the bust of this fucking godlike character.
Yeah, as the camera zooms out, this whole ruin. It's like a stone village at one point or whatever, but everything's grown over and collapsing. But the bust is beautiful. As you zoom out, you see more of his image, this character's image everywhere.
So he's like, all right, I'm going to camp out here. This seems safe. So he goes hunting, finds a boar. He has no fire, so he's just chawing on it raw.
We must be in the
he's
South.
Yeah, I say raw dog and he's raw pig in it.
We got to be in the
Raw hogging it. if
raw
you will.
hogging it. We
Yeah.
got to be in the American South because we know it's overrun with boars right now.
Yeah.
So
And there was a deep rub on it too.
there's a deep rub on it.
Yeah, a little bit of Juliana's fog mixed in with it.
That's
Wow.
what really gets a tingle going when you eat it.
It makes something tingle.
Shit. Well, how do you think she came to power? Money equals power. She was selling her own fucking.
Right.
It all makes sense. Yeah. She probably was fucking King Jarl. He's the great cook. He lives in a fire kingdom after all. Probably serving up the hot meats, and she would sprinkle her fog on it. I think we figured this movie out.
So all life is about fog, people. All of life.
This is a divorce story. That's all it is. Jarl and fucking Juliana.
Is that it? Is Tigra her daughter? And Jarl spitefully took her away from her, and she wants her back.
Yeah, I think that's it. What?
It's like Kramer versus Kramer, Jarl versus Juliana.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what happens when you combine fire and ice?
You get lukewarm water.
The ice melts.
Fog.
And emits fog. That's all this is. We're literally in the neutral zone of just fog right now.
Just crack the case.
Guys, come on.
Exactly what fire and ice means. It means fog.
It means fog.
Metaphor.
Literally, Jarl said the Dragonhawks will not be able to find their way. The fog is too thick. Split Pea wishes it was this thick.
So Larn,
Soup.
he senses something because Larn is like a possum. Every time he senses danger, he plays dead.
Yeah,
so he literally just collapses.
You're right about that. I mean, come on, he's living in a harsh world, and like I guess people don't want to warm a butthole of a dead guy because everybody's just like, oh, I'm going the other way.
So he just literally just falls over mid chomp. He's got the fucking food in his leg in his mouth.
Yeah, he's raw dogging it. He gnawed
He's
it.
raw hogging it.
He's raw hogging it. Excuse me, to the bone. There is just bone showing at this point.
And then we see, first we see a big pair of boobs.
Yeah.
And then a butt.
Yeah.
And then we see Tigra.
she walks into frame ass first.
Right.
Powdered Toast Man wishes he has these bugs.
We get the Fred Flintstone xylophone. She's sneaking up.
Yep.
Goes for that other fucking leg of boar.
Right. Thankfully, he ripped 2 off.
And he grabs her. And this is where we get a little like playful mating ritual dance we get between them. Because they immediately want to fuck.
Yeah, of course.
He's got the rock star hair. She's got the fucking amazing ass.
That's right.
So she's got a bowl of fruit. Well, she does. Remember, because she runs off. She finds a little bush with berries on it.
Such a fucking weird scene. Okay, we got to get there.
You know Danzig fantasizes about being Dark Wolf. He has he has that fucking mask, man.
One 1,000,000,000%. This movie, not even that good. Danzig couldn't even come close to it. Danzig, come on, just work on your stories a little bit. Just work. This is not a good movie, and yet it is 10 times better than your movies.
Yes.
Just work on it a little bit. Tighten up those scripts.
The joy of animation is you cannot linger.
Yeah.
Because it's animation. It takes fucking labor to do this shit.
Yeah. All right. So,
So they run out there like they're doing a little like it's the barbarian equivalent of the dance scene from Rad.
yes. Oh my God.
I was just like, Send Me an Angel should be playing
Send
right
me an angel.
because they're flirting with each other.
Right. So he at first goes, "Hey, get your own raw bar." I forget what you said. He's raw boring
Raw
it.
hogging it.
Raw hogging it. Get your own raw hog. And if she was like willing to be into him right away, just put her front foot forward and be very aggressive for his dick, she'd be like, I believe you have a raw boar waiting for me. Talking about a raw hog waiting for me. Talking about his dick, Murray.
Right.
Because
Well,
that's a euphemism.
she can't give it away right away.
Exactly.
She got to tease him a little. And you notice that the bush was super low to the ground. Why?
Oh, we're going. I'm not even ready to go there yet. And you gotta
I
you
was
gotta
there,
build
I
it
was
up.
there 5 minutes ago.
I know.
I just told
We're,
him.
no, we're back at. We're still back at the fucking dead boar, sir.
All right. Well, she's
Raw hog. She's like, he goes, "You can't have that. That's mine." And she says, "Well, I ain't no thief." And then puts it down and then runs off. Why?
Right.
Why did she run off? But like you said, this is the dance. This is Send Me an Angel. And we're going up and down. And it's like a minute ago he was annoyed with her. He's got a whole fucking boar. And yet we're going on this song and dance. Of course it's a mating dance,
Right,
Murray.
yeah.
Of course it is. So we're climbing stone walls. And of course he's going underneath her, looking up. And back she's like, zoom in. Yep. Enhance.
Right. Well, she, like I said, she comes upon a bush with berries. Just happens to be low to the ground, so she has to bend over to
Right
pick
into
up
the
these,
camera. Yep, right into the
pick up
camera.
these berries.
Yep.
Has a little, then she leaves a little for him.
Looks back and gives this like sexy little come hither, look to him. And so what is Lauren about to do? Of course he's gonna backflip, pole vault, walk on his hands
Right.
up to the bush.
Yeah, right. He's like a young Griff Hageman throwing himself into garbage cans. He's like, look at
When
me.
did I tell you guys that story?
It's not an episode.
I know
yeah.
it was, but
I don't
it's
remember,
like
but
man.
I don't remember anything we talk about.
I
on
don't
this
I know
show.
we've talked about these things.
Yeah.
Placing it?
Yeah,
Impossible.
no.
Especially a innocuous story like that.
So he finally gets up to her, and he embraces her.
Oh, yeah. No, he takes those berries. And for some reason, they animated the fuck out of the berries. He was like jiggling them in his hands. Like, what is he trying to tell us? Like, is that symbolism? Is that them trying to say she's got his balls in his hand?
That's exactly what
Clearly.
it is. Yeah.
Because there's so much time focused on the berries actually moving in his hand. I was like, why? Why is this happening? And that's it.
She's holding his berries, so she wants to get to his twig.
Yeah, that's right. And then he eats. I was like, okay, it's poison. He's gonna be knocked out, so she can get away. No, it's just she wants to fuck too.
Right, of course.
I couldn't believe
Rockstar hair. So they embrace, and then she shivers.
Yeah, they hunt.
And he's
another-
like, "Don't worry, baby. I know it's huge, but I'm good with it. I know how to work this dick." And she's like, "No, it's the cold."
I need to warm up, and she crawls to the ground and grabs onto his leg.
And then she's like, "I'm cold." And he's like, "The cold comes from Necron." Then he forgets everything about her. It's back to like, I have to murder Necron.
Right. So they start up a fire, and we just see them cuddling in front of it. And I guess another day goes by.
And they decide, like, since he's her savior, I'm gonna take you back to your father.
Yeah,
you know.
she's just we just pick up the next morning, and she's la-da-da-da-da. Where are you going? I'm going home. I think I should take you there. Okay, but don't be too boorish, because they've been killing boars. Right. And he goes, "Fine, I'll be monkey." And he starts.
I'm gonna get funky like a monkey, baby.
If only that he were that cool. And he starts doing some like Brazilian jiu-jitsu dancing.
I found it a little bit racist. I don't know why.
I don't know.
I found a little bit, but yeah, he starts doing the monkey dance, and he's making her laugh. You got to do that, guys. You got to make the girl laugh.
You gotta warm up. Gotta get into their hearts before you get into souls.
And then they just fall into a pond together. I think he pushes her, doesn't he?
She
Or
pushes him,
Okay.
and then he grabs onto her, and they go down there,
And once again, one of these cavernous abysses.
exactly, it looks like it's just a little pond because they're in that temple, like the ruined temple, stone grounds and everything, and they get into this water that is also just a fucking. It goes down 1 billion feet. It's the ocean apparently under here. And, I mean, the euphemisms just keep drowning us. We're drowning in euphemisms.
We see a tentacle come toward them. She gets away.
Yeah.
But tentacle grabs onto Larn.
Of course, she got away.
What does Larn do when he's in danger, Griff? He pretends he's dead. So he literally starts pretending he's dead. The tentacle is pulling down. It's like a beholder from Dungeons and Dragons. It's this one-eyed like creature.
It looked like it was an octopus because of the beak.
Yeah, but it had one eye.
Oh, you know what? It did have an eye down there for some reason.
Yeah.
Frank, you didn't have to draw an eye on it.
Well, I
think he wanted it.
This is a fantasy movie, so you need something fantastic. You need something more than just an octopus.
Yeah.
I see where he's going with it.
I don't like the look, I like a lot of what Frank did here. A lot of the animation was kind of neat, but I don't like the octopus with just one eye slapped on it.
Yeah, well,
just saying. That's
it's making it more monstrous.
No, that's cool.
So it's pulling it towards its beak, like you said. Thankfully, there's a spear-like stick down there at the bottom.
There's always a spear-like stick for him.
He grabs it, still playing dead. Just has his hand glides across it. He grabs it.
Honk. You see the water or air bubbles.
Right.
Honk.
Once he gets pulled toward the mouth, he just stabs it right in that giant eye.
It's his move.
And he's let loose. So
Works every time.
So he comes to the surface, but it's a different because she gets on the one side of the pond, lake, whatever the fuck. He gets on the other, so they're separated.
Right, and I thought she got swept away right away because the goons were walking by.
Well, yeah, she gets picked up as soon as she gets out of the water.
Yeah, she gets up, flips her hair, and of course the fucking subhumans are waiting there, and they're slack jawed like oh. Because they were probably the same ones for the first night. She put on the fog dance for them.
Right.
Man, they're addicted to the fog, like the spice melange, the fog
most,
melange.
It's the most addictive thing on the planet.
I can't tell you. Oh my god.
Larn, he's like washed ashore. He wakes up. He's like tied down.
Yeah.
And he sees like an axe right near, just out of his
the
reach.
halberd.
He's just reaching.
And then a hand comes down and picks it up. I had to take it. I had to tie you down, brother.
If this was made today, Griff, Keanu Reeves would be doing Kirk Wolf's
Jesus
voice.
Christ, no.
Yeah. But this wasn't made today, so we get a man's fucking
It would be
voice.
Jason Momoa.
Oh my god, it probably would be.
It would be.
Yeah.
They would. Except he wouldn't have the cool mask. He would just have his cool hair. He's got great hair, but the mask is everything.
But no. We get a man's voice on a man's character. If Conan fucked Batman, we'd get Dark Wolf.
Oh, man.
He's got the fucking, just like Conan loincloth, fur loincloth with the fucking girdle type thing.
I was going to say, he's got like a full fucking,
And he's got the fucking wolf head mask. Looking
cool
badass.
Bracer gloves.
A fucking tan Joe Coleman would fucking be envious of.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
This is what ideal man should look like.
Right. Excuse me. My God. I didn't think the sun could cut through that fog, but Dark Wolf is evidence that he can find the sunspots because he is tan as fuck.
Right.
And I didn't see tan lines.
Of course not.
So that man gets in the full fucking nude.
Of course he does. Well, he might have tan lines on his face.
Yeah, from the little glasses.
He never takes off the Dark Wolf.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Top half of his face is
I gotta
bone
say,
white,
sun's best disinfectant. Of course, we know that in order to keep the healthiest body you can, hold your butthole up to the sun.
Hold your balls to the sun.
Is it just the balls? I thought it was the butthole too.
I'm sure you're gonna get your butthole's gonna get it if you're getting your balls tanned.
I mean, I guess kind of, but I'm thinking, you might have to spread your cheeks. So
I don't know, Tucker. I know you're listening. Can you tell us? Okay, so he goes, I had to tie you down. You were delirious. Now you're healed.
Yeah, I knew you were going to squirm all over the place. It's like, no, you don't realize who Larn is because Larn's thing is possum. So he would have just played possum for the longest time.
Right.
But he's like, your injuries were too severe. I needed to tie you down just so you wouldn't fucking hurt yourself, in a panic.
He's like, I had to rescue you because I'm after that wolf bitch, Juliana.
Wolf, bitch.
Now hop on my fucking horse, bitch style, on the back.
I think he was the rebound. Because I
Dark
told you
Wolf?
the story. Yeah, the story is King Jarl and Juliana were fucking for the longest time.
But first of all, Dark Wolf is beyond the fog. He has green eyes, so he can see through the fog.
Yeah.
So why would he have I can see Juliana hating him because she wants to be with Dark Wolf. Because Dark Wolf, he's what they call a Sigma man. He's on his own.
Yeah.
And so I don't get why he wants to kill. Does he get her off his back? Like, I want to kill her because she's fucking calling me all the time with her fucking pussy fog methods. I'm sitting here eating at the fire, got this fucking deep rub fucking boar's meat, and then her fucking face pops up in my fire.
No, it's because she's trying to hit him with litigation after litigation, saying that
Saying that Tigra's his kid?
Exactly.
Well, we know it's Jarls.
Necron, Tigra, they're all your kids. She's got the whole fucking court on her side. She's literally having Necron build ice glaciers into his land. He was just like, hey, babe, I was just here to fuck you. I'm into the small titty chicks. You got the ass, you got the legs, you got the look for me.
I'll even fuck you over 30 and I'll go fuck you.
Exactly.
Yeah. He likes a mature.
Exactly.
Oh.
So, and she couldn't handle that. He was just like, oh, no, you're not my type. Like, I had fun, but I'm going back to the wilderness.
Right.
I'm not. You said you wanted this to be a quick thing.
Yeah.
And now,
you said no strings attached.
Exactly. That's what she told him. No strings attached. And
That's
so
how they get you guys.
So that's why he's after her, because she's trying to fuck his whole life up because she thought she was going to marry this man or something.
Right.
I don't know.
You can't tame a dark wolf.
You can't. It's beautiful.
So he's like, hop on. You ride bitch, Larn. And Larn's like, hey, I'll accept that.
What does bitch mean?
So we go finally to where Tigra's last location. Dark Wolf's like, that's pussy I smell.
I think there was a few fog crystals on the ground there.
No, he smelled Tigra's. He's like,
yeah.
That's pretty potent. I can see why a beta like you would.
Yeah, this is young. This is not Juliana's. I know Juliana's
in their prime.
Yeah.
To the west.
Yeah.
So, all right. Tigra, what's she doing? She's eating maggots. So she's being forced to eat maggots because the subhumans are also incels because they can't fuck her because Juliana will kill them.
Right.
So they take it out on poor Tigra.
Yeah.
Here, you're going to eat maggots.
And they're having a laugh at her. Meanwhile, they're like getting the chains ready. They're chaining her by the wayside, and then they're chaining her to one of the subhumans, and they're just fucking having all kinds of cool fun with her.
Right. And it's breaking her down. She can't take it. She breaks into tears.
So we get a quick cut here that Dark Wolf and Larn, they figure out where the camp is. They're still quite a ways away from it, but they figured out where it is, and they're going to descend upon it.
And if you can't get drunk on pussy, Griff, what do you get drunk on?
Well, shit, man. Whatever you can get that's toxic enough, but not toxic enough to kill you, that just gets you fucked up a little bit.
So, basically, subhumans are drinking prehistoric malt liquor. They are fucked up, and they all pass out, including the goon that Tigra is chained to. So she grabs his knife out of the guy collapses right in front of her. She grabs the knife out of his back loincloth, and she's gonna cut through a fucking chain with a
Murray,
knife.
think about what her education has
Yes,
been.
I know it's all about fucking sex positions.
She's
the master of the Kama Sutra.
Here's how to make eye contact. Here's how to do this. Here's how to bend over. Here's how to stick your beans.
All these
in the
guys got
face.
whiskey dicks, so her powers are negated.
Right, and there's no pond nearby. That's her main move, is to get wet.
So she starts sawing at this chain with a fucking butter knife, basically.
And the thing is, she would have kept working at it if it weren't for somebody waking up.
Her captor who's tied to her, and so she's like, "Fuck it," just stabs him with a knife.
Yeah, that's
and then
right.
she's like, "I'm gonna drag him away."
So I got to give her credit though. Like, I mean, she looks like she has powerful thighs because she does have a dominant ass here. Well, we get to see
I'd
those.
like to be crushed by those thighs. Yeah.
Oh, amen, brother. But yeah, so she puts those fucking thighs to work because she drags this fucking subhuman like 5 miles away.
No, it's literally because remember, there's like highest of highs and lowest of lows. So she drags him 5 feet and then falls off a cliffside.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay,
Yeah.
because I was like, she gets far enough.
This is the one time there's not a fucking cavernous pond nearby. It's literally a cliff face, so she falls down with the body.
Oh, that's right.
And gets knocked unconscious.
I was like, it had to be something kind of far away because Dark Wolf, as we kind of started teasing up, they're going to arrive at the camp, but she is so far gone, like they can't find her. Right. So that's why I was like, they got far away, right?
Right. So they come upon the goons, and Dark was like, hold my beer, Larn. And he just wades in with his battle axe, just chopping the fuck out of these guys.
See, this is a time if they weren't pretending to be, if animation didn't have to fake as children-based stuff. Right. This is where you get a fucking sweet-ass heavy metal song in here. You get some bolt thrower in here.
That would be pretty sweet.
Oh, man. They needed something heavy as fuck for this scene. And instead, we just get...
By the way, speaking of...
Music?
Music. There's a guy, it's on YouTube. I'll post it on our Twitter. He got an Amon Amarth song, which is like a hardcore Viking metal song. Mm-hmm. And he just cut it. He got the highlights from this movie. Watch that instead of this movie because he cut it very well. He didn't get it perfect, but he cut it. He timed like there's epic moments in the song where Dark Wolf's killing people, and it was like almost, it wasn't seamless, but it was close to it. He did a good job.
Yeah,
I'll post that on our Twitter.
Nice.
You'll probably have seen it by now because I'll put it before you hear this. But yeah, watch that instead.
Right. We might have to dig through our history a little bit and find that one.
Right. But, he's just laying waste. Guys are flying at him. He just nonchalantly chops them out of the way.
And you see, like, what makes you a master of the jungle and everything? You see him, he's getting high ground. He's getting every little advantage possible. He's making it hard. And subhumans are literally that. Neanderthals. Right. They're stupid as fuck. They can't figure out his super logistic ways. They haven't even figured out
we've
fire
learned
yet.
from this movie, all it is high ground and low ground.
Yeah, that's all it is.
There's no plateaus. There's no level ground. It's either high or low.
Yeah.
So he goes to Larn up there. There's like a little hill. He's like, that's where we'll have our fucking standoff.
Right.
You will just stand behind me. I'll protect you.
Just stand back here and play possum.
He's just laying waste. Tigra comes to at the bottom of the ravine, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a fucking subhuman with most beautiful rock star hair comes out.
He's
like almost like he's zombie-like almost.
Yep.
And he just goes, he just snaps the chain like it's nothing.
Hooga booga, come along with me.
Throws her over his shoulder so we get another nice ass shot, and just carries her away.
There is 3 inches of like real estate outside of the ass shot here.
Right. So now Dark Wolf and Larn are on that high ground. If this was a modern movie, Larn would just be putting the bullets in his fucking guns for him.
Absolutely. He's actually, after he's killed a couple people with his axe, he hands it off to Larn, who hands him a new fresh axe, and then he cleans the blood off.
Right. And he just like chunks the guy right on the top of his head with the axe.
Yes.
And then I don't know what happens to Larn. I think he says like, go after Tigra. And then we just see the subhumans are like, fuck it, we got to stop this guy. So they bum rush him, and fucking Dark Wolf just goes, ah! Just fucking flexes his fucking muscles with the fucking, and it's like, come at it. And it was like, that's all we needed. They're like, it's the scene. Use your imagination for this scene. It's gonna be too awesome.
So of course, Larn's gonna learn that Tigra is gone, and so he wants to get back to the horses, and Dark Wolf is just like, No, I smell the fear in the air. They're too close. They'll be on our heels. We can't go for the horses. We'll just have to continue on foot.
Right. Back to the fire keep. The king is like, he's talking with his son Taro, and he's just like, I'm going to give up. They have your hot sister. I mean, if it was you, I would say, who gives a shit? Kill that guy. But it's your hot sister. You're going to go to the fucking ice peak, which is their castle it's called.
Yeah.
And you're gonna give the white flag of surrender.
You're gonna go in there. You're gonna march through with a few guys, and you're gonna hold the white flag the whole time. You're gonna tell them, "Hey, what was your offer again? Maybe we could do peace." And of course, the song's gonna be like, "No, Dad, let's kill them." No. Do you know how hard it was to get your sister to start doing squats? That girl was as fit as a rail before I got her to do squats.
So much work into her. I'm not letting that go to waste.
I want to see a powerful man thrust his dick in her.
Wow.
This guy's got his daughter grabbing his leg at his throne. He's got some Trump vibes coming off him. He would definitely be saying, my daughter is the hottest woman. If I weren't her father, I would fuck her.
Look, I don't care how controversial I must say this is. Incest is bad. But you got a daughter as hot as Tigra. Don't do anything. But if the thought comes in your mind, you can't help it. But don't do anything. That's sick, fucked up. I don't care if that offends you woke people out there.
I think there's a certain thing a switch that flips on when you're Don't roll your eyes at me when I say it. I think there is a fucking switch that flips in your brain.
There should be.
There
should be.
I'm pretty sure there absolutely.
Trump doesn't have it.
Yeah, well, obviously he's the fucking exception.
You're absolutely right. Yes, there automatically should be.
Yeah.
It's taboo for a reason.
I'm 99% sure that there is that disconnect where you can't look at your daughter and be like, all right.
There's a lot of sick people out there.
I know. Yeah.
I would say probably 90%.
90?
10% are sick. I gotta say, I'm not condoning it at all. I don't care if that offends you. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying. It's like we were talking about earlier with the fucking anime. It's sick. It's depraved. That's all I'm going to say. So,
and Murray's talking anime in general.
All right, what's Tigra? Speaking of Tigra, what's she been up to? Well, Atwa, which is the name of the rock star haired zombie, carries her to a little hut in the woods, very reminiscent of the werewolf witch in Conan the Barbarian.
Yes, thank you. She's got a Flintstone house. She wishes she had a Flintstone house because we see how quickly it goes up here. She's
brought to the character Rolai.
And Rolai, she's your classic.
Is she over the hill, Griff? Is she jealous of the beauty of Tigra? It feels like it is.
I don't know. She had so many features that said I'm right at the cusp of being overage. So in this timeline, 23.
She had a couple wrinkles in her crow's feet. Yeah.
It wasn't even that. It was just when she smiled, it's like you saw a little bit of it, and you're like, oh no. But when her face was relaxed, smooth as a whistle. The eyes they gave her was what really creeped me out about her.
Well, probably that was a reason.
Yeah, because they gave her like piss yellow eyes.
And she's like a witch, so of course she's in.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, don't worry about my son Atwa. He is a gentle soul. Come, my child.
You gave more description to Atwa than you did this woman. Would you like?
Well, you said she had piss-colored eyes.
Yes.
She had red hair.
Red rock star hair.
Well, yeah, it was beautiful rock star.
Do you remember her outfit?
It's a dress, right? I don't remember.
It wasn't a dress. She had kind of like a swimsuit kind of onesie, and then she had flowing bits over it, but her swimsuit was like cut, up the middle, so it was just like her tits were barely covered, of course.
Okay, I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
It's very Stevie Nicks, so.
Oh, okay, there you go.
And she's like, come, my child, drink with me. Puts a little fucking crystallized pussy fog in there.
I like how she did it. She did it like how Lynch did it with that weird dude in Twin Peaks Returns when he sprinkled a little bit of the coke on his and had his girlfriend snort it off, because that's what she did. She was like, hey.
Give her a little bump of pussy fog.
Yeah, gave her Murray, we've been talking about crystallized fog. Now it's in animation. People can see it.
And she just is out.
Right.
So she goes, yoink, grabs a little hair off of Tigra.
And like any good witch, she's got a constantly simmering cauldron.
Simmering, it's bubbling.
Well, Murray, I think when the hair gets dropped in here, That's what caused it to bubble.
And it reveals all she needs to know about Tigra, that Necron is looking for this. And she's like, Necron! And, so apparently Necron rejected her. He was like, no, you're too old for me. You're 23.
Maybe that is her gripe.
That's why she's jealous of 16-year-old Tigra.
That could be it.
So, yeah, so she's just fucking furious. And she's like, whoa. À toi. Get those fucking subhumans. I got a little trade I want to give to Necron.
That's right.
But Atwa comes back. Oh, he's like, falls on his face in the doorway, spear in his back.
Yeah, this was.
Why would you send a guy who can't speak?
I know.
To talk to other guys who can't speak.
Well, maybe he speaks their language. Maybe a couple hair flips. Maybe
Speak through hair?
maybe they have subhuman sign language.
Well, I think what pissed them off was his rockstar hair. Because remember, we said that the Neanderthals are bald.
Oh my God! No, the male pattern baldness in subhumans is 99%.
Much like in real life. If you're losing your hair, you're subhuman.
Oh my God.
Kill yourself. Hey, up until fucking Michael Jordan, that was the way of the land, law of the land. Unless you were Telly Savalas,
Yeah.
and he had so much fucking game and riz, as the kids say now.
Well, that's what I loved about Tally going back and watching him as a bald man is that he was just like, no, baby, I still run the court, and I love that. It's like you look back in old sports and everything. If you're not wearing a hat, because baseball you don't get to see it as much, but if you're watching basketball or something, all those fucking ballers out there had like horrible baldness and everything. Where it'd be like, dude, like today we look at you and go, shave your fucking head, but you couldn't.
No.
You couldn't. It was illegal. Why did George Costanza have that horseshoe haircut? You couldn't.
Right.
You couldn't be bald.
So before he can even say anything, he gets stabbed in the back by those guys.
Yeah.
And he collapses, and they just walk in, and they're like, we're going to take Tigra. We're not going to trade.
No, she's my bargaining chip. She gets stabbed right in the fucking guts.
Right.
He doesn't want it. He is high on that high potent fog. I mean, this guy is getting... He's riding such a fog wave. He gets a whiff of that rolling fog, and he's like, no.
I bet people, and by the way, you can thank me. I bet you people didn't know how much of life, half of life is just dealing with fucking pussy fog.
Yeah.
Half of life.
Whose son did we help out?
Phil's.
Phil's son.
Phil, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Show him Fire and Ice. Have him watch Fire and Ice, because this is one of the most dangerous movies I've ever seen.
So, Neanderthal subhuman kicks over the cauldron, sets her little hut on fire.
Oh, fuck. And this is incredible because it's green fire, and this hut
Magic
goes
fire,
down in a second.
And Larn sees the smoke billowing from it, and he's like, is that pussy fog?
Well,
So-
there's definitely some fog in there.
Right.
Yeah.
So he runs towards it. He sees the ruins, and he's just searching around. Tigra! And then fucking Rolio's skeleton just pops up out of the ashes. He's still got hair, but it's white now.
Yeah. Well, there was some baldness, too.
Yeah.
She had like a wicked widow's peak.
And he's like, where is Tigra? And she's like, wouldn't you like to know? Well, I'll tell you, human, if you get revenge on Necron. He's like, fuck yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, right. That's all I'm all about.
They're headed by way of Agato. Avenge me! And he's like, all right.
Huh?
All right, so now we're at Agato. It's a city out in the port city. We see Juliana on her barge, her pleasure barge. She has Tigra clinging to her leg.
Yeah.
And so they're taking off. Larn arrives.
Just in time to see the boat taking off, and he's shouting, Tigra!
And as he's saying that, we see Taro, her brother, arrive with his envoy, and they're getting on another boat. So he leaps on it, stows away on their boat. He's clinging to the back of it.
That's right. And we get over into the Ice Fortress again. Ice Fortress?
Ice Peak is what their castle's
Ice
called.
Peak. And Tigra is being offered up to Necron. See, no waste of time.
We also did not point out when Necron is moving the glacier, it's exhausting to him.
This is what I loved about Necron, is that you don't know how to show off, like, I'm doing a spell right now and shit like that. But I really like how they animated Necron doing his spells because he looks so fucking exhausted.
Right.
With the opening scene when he's moving all the glaciers over Lauren's little fort hut village, he's like falling out of his throne and everything.
Right.
His head's drooped over. I'm surprised like his hair's not falling out or some shit. It's very cool.
His look also, I bet, was influenced by the character Elric, because Elric is kind of like the anti-Conan. He was like an emaciated, like, albino, and his sword would like drain the life out of people. So that's how he kind of survives.
Oh,
assisted.
interesting.
That would be a cool movie to make too, an Elric movie.
I was just gonna say that'd be fucking cool as shit.
But he's the heel in this one. And so it's like Julian's like, look what I brought you. Look at the tits. Look at the ass, my son.
Look at her. She won't even walk towards you face fronting. She only walks backwards.
You need this booty for an heir. Mother, please. I want nothing to do with that trash.
Is this the first time we heard Necron speak?
Yes.
Because audience,
that's how he speaks. Paul Lynde did the voice. I can't help it. He just did the voice.
you see, we don't need to have the 5-minute scene of him making out with the guy. Just have Paul Lynde do the voice.
Right. You
Even though
get
you
it.
were saying, I hate it when a guy voice acts his own voice.
Yes, I do. But we'll make it. But Paul Lynde was this character was made for Paul Lynde.
Yeah.
So he's just like, mother, please, this fucking trash. Have nothing to do with her. And Tigra's like, I got my in. I can be his fag hag. Sorry to use that word, but that's the phrase. And so she just like, you just have a broken heart, my love, my sweet broken winged bird. Can't we just have peace?
You don't have anybody who understands you. Somebody who will listen to you.
I'll go to the drag shows with you. I'll help you with your makeup.
I think your voice is beautiful. I love it. I would like to just listen to you tell me. You could read me all Shakespeare. Let's do it tonight.
I spit on your face. I spit on you. No more sluts, mother. Take out the trash. So she literally, they have a room of just dead bodies. They don't even kill her. They just throw her into this pit of dead bodies.
It's fucking intense.
So Taro and crew finally show up. Apparently, even though it's ice, there's a river's flowing apparently.
Yeah, they made themselves like the chasm. So you have like the two overside like foundation or sides overlooking like a underpass or whatever.
Right. And we got the fucking subhumans just razzing them, giving them shit, throwing tomatoes at them.
And Taros reminded them, just don't even look at them.
Yeah.
We don't
react.
We don't look at this subhuman trash.
Don't react. Whatever you do. We see, I guess this is the one woman that the Neanderthals get to fuck.
Yeah.
It's like the movie, we're going to do it eventually, the 13th Warrior, where there was there was like this kind of, much like, they weren't like cavemen, but they were subhuman for less, and they had one woman was like the mother of all of these fucking characters. But that's kind of, I'm guessing that's the vibe I'm getting off of this, because she's like screaming at them and shit. It's getting intense. Lauren hops off the fucking boat. He's going to find his own way into this fortress.
I mean, this makes sense. Again, it's not a great story, but all the pieces work together right. You know?
Because it's such a simple story.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, they got all the shit right. So everybody is watching. All the subhumans are watching and razzing. Taro and crew. So Lauren is able to just go behind them and just...
Where does he go, Griff?
Into a crevice?
In through the back door.
In through the back door, man! Of course he's trying to really warm up. He could have had Tiger's puss the first night. He wants the ass fuck.
Yeah, and you got to work that. You can't get that on a first date. Unless you got fucking Telly Savalas.
Well, he knows Tiger's...
Dark Wolf. Dark Wolf's bald underneath that, Griff. He's straight up Telly Savalas. Telly Savalas should have done the voice for Dark Wolf.
Baby.
Look at babe. You're clearly in the fog, babe. Tetsu! So he sneaks in through the back door. He's eavesdropping on the meeting between Necron and Taro. And Taro's like, remember that deal you gave us? We'll take it. Just give me my sister back.
She is my dad. He really convinced me. My sister's hot as fuck. And that's what Necron, yeah.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I do want to fuck her. Does she take it in the back door?
Can I give her a little bit of the old tush push? You think your sister would be into that?
That enrages Taro. So he goes for him, and then fucking Necron uses the Force. He uses the fucking Force.
This is awesome, though. Again, the way they actually show him, like, his body, like how his body rejects him trying to do these spells. He's like forcing his hand, and there's so much.
Every Taro and all his entourage just stop in their tracks, and they're struggling. They're vibrating with rage, trying to get at him. And then Necron just makes them stab each other.
Yeah, I think he uses Taro to stab all of his own crew.
And then he makes Taro stab himself. Because Taro's like fighting to get towards him. And then the knife just turns towards him and he just stabs himself.
You know what I noticed was on Taro's sword there? Fucking 4,000 feet of string. Just a little string. I think it was tied all the way back to Jarl. You see, Murray, what I'm doing is a callback to Ninja Scroll.
Yeah, and if you listen to that, you'd fucking know that. And you'd be cracking the fuck up. I don't remember anything we do, so I don't know what Griff's talking about.
I was just kidding.
But, yeah.
The way you looked at me, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It was a reference to Ninja Scroll. Because it was all strings last week, people. It was all strings.
Yeah, string theory, if you
There's no strings attached in this episode.
Taro's thrown out with the trash, lands right on top of Tigra, and that wakes her up. And she cries out because it's her dear brother.
Murray, you realize what you just said there. She has visited the Ice Keep has multiple dead body trash compounds. It's so big that they have to have multiple dumping grounds. And she has visited almost every one. She's got basically encyclopedic knowledge of this place now just by being dragged to various...
I'm just worried she's going to get frostbite on that ass.
Well, I mean, we've been watching all these loincloth bros running around, so apparently they're impervious to this frost.
So she takes his knife. She's like, she needs a weapon. Cut back to Larn. He's in the throne room watching Necron. This just happens to be, I guess it was one of Taro's guards, like, dropped their bow and arrow. So he, like, he's, like, hiding behind a pillar of ice.
Right.
And he grabs the bow and arrow. Necron's just wasted. He's just used so much energy. He's passed out on his throne.
He just had to talk to his mother. Because, you know, what's the most exhausting thing? To remind your mother, I'm not into women. Right. That's got to be the hardest thing for Necron. I mean, he's been doing this for at least 17 years now.
But Necron, he's like... one possum deserves another, because Necron, like, he's like got his hand up to his breast. He's doing full on Julian Sands from House of Vampires.
Yes, I'm so glad I was gonna ask
peeking through his fingers, sees Larn. Larn shoots at him. He just dodges it at the last second, and then I think he shoots at him again, and he fucking just stops. Oh, you think he stops?
Doesn't
him?
even let him shoot it. He's just like, oh, you find yourself, you know, you.
Oh, we got a badass, do we? Let's fight, big boy. And he pulls out his sword.
He calls out his guards first, has the guards grab him, and he's like, you know what? I like this kid's moxie.
Let's do this. So they start going. Of course, Necron's going to cheat when he's like starts losing. So
yeah, because we're seeing here in full animation how agile Larn is.
Right.
We've only seen him play possum and run. Right. Now we're seeing his like liquid flowing moves here.
Right. And Necron's enjoying those liquid fluids.
Oh my God, Murray! It's a movie about the fog. We know Paul Lynde.
Yeah.
He's in Lawrence Smog, the rock star braid.
That worked on Tigra in that little mating dance.
Yes,
scene
that's
too.
right. We didn't even think about the power of the braid. Is that a name, Chen? Is that
Black Scorpion braid?
Black Scorpion braid?
Well, it's blonde, so it's a blonde scorpion braid.
Oh,
yes,
shit.
It's deadly.
Albino is the albino braid?
All I know is Larn gets one slash in at Necron, and that pisses him off.
Yeah, Necron takes the slash, keels over, and then Larn is coming down with the sword to chop his head off, Stone Cold Stunner style, and that's when the blade just stops.
Right. Because Necron's not fucking around now.
Yeah, the blade stops here.
And he knocks Larn down, and he's like, let him rest. There's still a little fight in that little bugger.
I want to see him walk off, though. Push up those tush panels.
And then he goes, inhales that cock smog.
Oh, my God. He's like, get me the flower. I want crystallized smog.
So... I'm
gonna snort skis.
I'm gonna mainline this.
I'm gonna mainline it off his boner later.
Tigra is hiding. That's all she can do when she's not fogging up the fucking set.
Oh, she's learned how to play possum too.
Right. She's hiding. She sees Larn taken to a little ice prison. He's locked up. And then the guards just walk away.
So she runs over. She starts pounding on the door. Larn! Larn! I'm going to get you out of here. Please be quiet. I think there's a key. Maybe don't do it.
I'll find it. As soon as she turns the corner, she's immediately captured.
Captured. Taken to the next.
Thrown over the shoulder, ass towards the screen.
Frank! Bakshi! Bakshi!
Guard is going to check on Larn, I guess, to see if he's circumcised or not, because Necron asked.
There's no other reason for him to be.
Yeah.
He did have a little number that he was going to have from where,
Opens up. Larn's is hiding behind the door, playing possum again.
Hey! He is a subhuman. Where did he go? He's like David Copperfield or something. What's going on here?
Knocks out the fucking subhuman and rushes out of the
I like
cell.
that it took more than one punch. I got to give him credit for this. It took him 9 punches to knock this guy out.
I think he's getting chased because he escapes. There's like a hole in the ceiling.
They immediately start chasing him. He's running. He looks up. It looks like it's 4,000 feet up. And then he's just crawling out of it.
Right. And he starts running. He's outside now. A snowstorm comes in. I guess hides him from the subhumans, but not from one badass.
That's right.
Our man Darkwolf finds him.
It's looking like he is about to be chased down, slaughtered, everything. And then
I love how Larn, like, Tigra is the damsel in distress for Larn. Larn is the damsel in distress for Darkwolf.
You know what? That's kind of actually cool about this movie is that, that was the thing I liked about this movie was that Larn isn't the guy who's like, he's not Conan.
Right.
He's not swinging the giant sword, killing everybody. He's just kind of this agile, roguelike.
Great at playing dead.
Yeah, wormy,
So
slithery.
basically, Larn does what he does best, curls up into a fetal position,
The
and
fetal
then
position.
Dark was like, let me handle this. And it just starts, you see arrows just flying into the fucking dudes, and he's like, you stay here, little man. I'll take care of business.
You did a good job luring them here to me. Like, you're making this so much easier, because I'm used to have to go into hordes of them. You're getting them, like, a few at a time. I can pick them all off like nothing.
So he kills all the fucking subhumans. All right, young man, let's go to Firekeep.
Yep.
So they go back to Firekeep to talk to Jarl. He said, look, you're sorry your son was killed. Your bodacious daughter's still alive, hopefully.
Yep. That's right. And, he's looking over, and King Jarl's seeing, like, this boy wants to fuck my daughter. Like, he's pretty fucking... That hair? That braid? My son doesn't have a braid that hot.
Right. He's like, I wish Darkwolf would, but he's going his own way.
Murray! What did I tell you? They fucked the same woman. King Jarl, can smell Juliana on the stand.
Darkwolf's like, maybe that is my daughter. Like, he knows. You don't go there.
Yes, there's that as well.
I mean, he sees the fucking luscious ass, but he's like, that could be my daughter's ass.
That could be my daughter's ass.
So he's like, there's no time, Jarl. I need the Dragon Hawks. And he's like, all right, I'll allow it. But look, if you don't get microwave timing, if you don't get by the time the sun is at a certain position, I must unleash the lava. I'm sorry. I have to do that.
That's right.
Why does he have to do that?
It makes no sense.
So Darkwolf's like, all right, that's cool. We'll do that. So
I feel like they didn't even show what that stipulation was. And it's just like, they hit that stipulation. So here it is.
So, we'll get into it later.
I know. I'm sorry.
But so our boys, it's Larn, Darkwolf, and a bunch of fucking jobbers get on the Dragon Hawks and head to Ice Peak, where they're immediately all slaughtered. Like, the fucking cavemen are waiting for them.
Because like there's the tiniest little entrances, and then it is a giant open fucking fortress. So they're able to fly all over the place and everything. And they're doing that, except every one of the subhumans, these guys, my God, we call them subhumans, but their rock agility is fascinating because they've mapped out the trajectories, and they're like, all right, they're flying at this speed. If I drop the rock now, it'll bash this guy right in the head. It'll clonk into that guy. Killing a bird with 2 stones, these guys know. They created
Killing
that.
it with 1.
Yeah. Killing a bird with 2. Oh, I said 2 with 2 stones. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. That's not Shakespeare. That's fucking subhumans. That's fire and ice subhumans.
So they're immediately slaughtered. If they're not getting hit with rocks, you can hit with arrows.
Yeah, right.
Larn and Darkwolf are dodging.
Of course they
juking
are,
and jiving. A fucking Necron hears this. He's like, "Oh, more toys for me to play with." So he starts shooting his force powers. So rocks are crumbling from the ceiling.
Yeah.
But they're still dodging. Somehow, fucking Larn goes to the surface again. He goes through like a hole in the wall.
Larn's always looking up for light,
Right.
and he's like, "Oh my God, light!" So he flies up, and he gets out, and this happens to be, where Tigra. Why did I forget her name? At this point of the movie, I forgot her name. But yeah, he flies up, and it just so happens to be the entrance to where she is.
Well, his Dragonhawk pterodactyl crashes,
Yeah, his pterodactyl crashes.
but it takes out a goon and then on the way.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Darkwolf is coming upon the throne room. We see the doors are like shutting.
Yeah, they actually have real doors.
Right. His Dragonhawk is riddled with fucking arrows. He says, "Fuck it." He leaps off it with his battle axe, goes right through the fucking gap of the door, screaming fucking bloodlust.
And this is amazing because they've literally just trapped themselves. We saw how much effort it took to close the doors. Opening it's going to be just as hard. And now he's in there alone with Necron. Or is he?
Cut 2. Larn saves Tigra from, I think, Juliana. Juliana's like grabbing Tigra, and he saves her.
That's right. He just pushes her over. And then she
Right.
goes, you bitch!
Necron! That's Darkwolf.
That's right.
He's ready to fucking fight.
I thought Darkwolf was Telly Savalas. So go ahead. Telly Savalas. Hey, Necron!
Hey, Fruity Pants. What's going on here? Necron's like, Necron knows he's got to use this. He's not even going to toy with Darkwolf. He's got to stop him with his force powers. And Darkwolf is, every sinew in his body's flexing, fighting that fucking power.
Keeping it at bay. And Darkwolf, he's just like, dude, come on. I trained with Goku on planet Kamehameha. I can't remember the name of the planet. I know how to glow. And he just starts fucking glowing.
He's got the glow?
He's got the glow.
The Last Dragon
From
glow?
Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon Hawk glow.
Last Dragon Hawk.
Because he does start glowing.
He starts
As
glowing.
he's fighting that fucking power, and he just chunks him right in the fucking chest with his axe.
And what I love about this movie, and Darkwolf does not seem like a guy be like, yeah, he seems dead to me. He's like, no, I'm going to go ahead and pummel him.
Ow!
I swear to you, I'm dead. Please just
And
go
then
away.
he's just begging. He's on the ground, and then just chunk.
Juliana's running in to watch her son die. She's like, fuck, man, I'm never going to have grandsons.
So apparently, the Necron was holding this whole palace together with his powers because he starts crumbling.
Yeah. Great
Back at
thing-
Firekeep. Release the lava. So, okay. So, I guess he's one of those guys, if I can't have it, nobody can, because he has to destroy his own kingdom to get to the ice place.
Right.
So we literally hear animals crying out in pain as
Yes.
lava destroys the jungle.
We told you, there's the jungle in between the fortress and this. So
Right.
he's literally slaughtering everything in between.
Right.
And there's no reason for it at all.
Right.
He just panicked and said, if I can't have my hot daughter, nobody can. He is Donald Trump. King Charles is Donald Trump.
The ice fortress exploding. Juliana just falls into a pit. Somehow the fucking Dragonhawk that got fucked up and crashed is alive again, and Larn and Tigra get on it.
It's just
fly
like
away.
heavy metal. That fucking pterodactyl that, what's her name, was riding, died 100 times and was just like, no, I can fly again. It's cool.
Right. Dark Wolf, he's a badass, so nothing can kill him. So we know he gets away. So then it's like we cut to a scene where the pterodactyl maybe it's sleeping, maybe it's playing possum, maybe it's dead.
Yeah.
Lauren and Tigre are just laying out. Where the fuck are they at? Because we just saw the lava destroy the jungle.
Exactly. They somehow got into the safe area of the jungle. Of course, Tigre lands on her knees, ass up.
Right. Face down, ass up.
Yes,
Yeah, sleeping. And then Lauren gets up, slaps her on the ass. Come on, get up. It's all great. Are they in a new kingdom? Is that castle in the background King Charles' castle?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because
I
it
think
looks
might have been.
fine. There's nothing burned.
Well, it seemed like everything underneath that, the fortress was built to handle like lava, apparently.
It was like a surgical strike lava. Like we didn't see
yeah,
it, but
right.
it was going on a path.
Like there was all the ice canals for it to shoot through and everything because the ice had built up so much. So it was like it was all luge for the lava.
All I know is they look up on a hill. We see Dark Wolf. He's like, I wish I could hit that, but it might be my daughter.
Kid, I don't know what
you
that
can
is.
have it, kid.
I can objectively, I could say that it's a hot piece of ass, but I still am not going to dare that.
Goon just staggers into the pit frame. Lauren's like, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. And T goes, no, let him live. You need to learn. They need to learn by example. We're going to show them. What would Jesus do? And he's like, he wouldn't kill him. And then that's where the fog dissipates.
We actually, like, the camera goes up and we surface. We see that the whole fog jungle that we were just in this whole movie, between the ice and the fire, it's gone now.
It's just fog. Endless fog. There's no fire and ice anymore, Griff. It's just fog.
It's not just fog. There's no fog anymore, Murray.
But you just said the fire and the ice met. There's no fire. There's no ice.
The whole fire took over the ice. They come back.
They can't.
Yeah, the ice. Or once the
it's like the immovable object in the unstoppable force.
Once the lava takes out all the ice, there's going to be the moment of the fog, but there's not the constant fog anymore. It was just lift.
So So then they probably become a super advanced race now because they don't have pussy fucking
the
with their
subhumans.
mind?
They might. Yeah, I think they.
AI
finally,
takes over, and then we got a whole new movie.
Yeah, you know what? The one guy they let live.
Yeah.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk's ancestor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could tell by the hairline.
Yes.
And then the plugs.
Right.
I will design hair plugs.
And that weird body.
Oh my God.
Barrel-shaped chest.
He's got such.
All right. There you have it. That was our first and probably last April animation month.
Please do it. Yeah, we're going to download that when we want to.
Yeah.
Hey, we had fun.
Yeah, we did.
I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
And the real fans had fun.
That's right. Getting to see G.I. Joe, getting to find out that I have a Cobra Commander that isn't that bad.
Yeah. You might be able to replace me.
Yeah. So, good month.
We learned something.
Good month. But you know what? We got to get back into our wheelhouse, right?
Super action. Griff, there's one movie we've been holding on to forever. It's called Predator. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're going to tease you a little more. We're going to do every Predator sequel before we do Predator. But when we do Predator, you know who's going to be with us.
Yeah, you know who's going to be with us.
Oiled up, tanned muscles. You know that means.
We're going to do that one in the summer so we can all be in.
Well, that's got to be like maybe a 500th episode.
That's good. We'll all be in our Taro sweatpant jock straps.
Yeah, we will be. But until then, next week, we're going to do one of the many sequels of Predator. I decided we're going to do the one Predators. I don't remember when it came out. I think it was like 10 years ago. It has one of our favorites. Walton Goggins, I think, is in it.
Dude, I feel like I saw this one in the theaters.
I've seen it on TV. I remember the premise, and that is all. It was when Adrian Brody was hot, like he was going to be the next big star, and now he disappeared.
Was
Predators.
It 90s or 2000s?
2000s. It was within the last 10 to 15 years.
I'm pretty sure I saw this one in the theaters.
I remember it has Topher Grace is in it.
I hadn't even seen Predator at this time.
Oh my God, that was your first experience with.
What?
And we were just talking about Robert Rodriguez earlier, the Red Sonja movie. He directed it. And I think he didn't use green screen, so he can do a movie without green screens.
Okay.
I think they did. They went into a real jungle.
How many Predators have we done? 2?
Predator 2 and
3.
The Predator with Shane Black.
Oh, I was remembering The Predator.
Because after this, there's the 2 Alien crossovers,
Yes.
and then there's the one I've actually been wanting to see, but it's on fucking Hulu, so I haven't seen it. The
Yeah.
one that takes place with the Indian girl. I want to see that.
That
one.
sounds cool.
Yeah.
I hear people say, and
But we're not. That's why we're not doing it because it sounds too cool.
Yeah.
We're doing Predators.
Yeah, you guys got to suffer a little bit more hate before you get the love.
Yeah, as all great love start.
That's
so
right.
look for that next week. Keep it warm.